Y'all are in for a treat today. A treat. We have story time with K Michelle. Yes, yes. Now, Kay is going to run us down everything that happened between her and Shamia so we can get a better understanding of how the candy coated of it all is actually involved in any of this and what Kay Michelle thinks about it. All right. So let's just take a listen and be forewarned, we will do some talking in between because we are reacting to this. So, fair warning. Let's go.
You go out to eat, a couple other people go, and your friend, Shamia, calls me and she says, hey, we're done with the concert. So, get this right. We dropped Shamia off at the concert, okay?
I would assume that this is maybe the night of the situation that occurred when K Michelle and Shamia drove off and left Drew at the table singing the national anthem. But I could be wrong. Okay. I could be wrong. And I want to shout out to our friends over at No Chaser. And I'm going to shout out Impressed as well because the logo is on the page as well. So yeah, let's get back into what K Michelle has to say.
Why? This is where she says, I asked to go. Y'all, I don't mean no disrespect, but look at me. Think about how I act. I have a blast. People, you just have to know me. Y'all know damn well I ain't asked to go no Charlie Wilson concert with no candy. For what? No disrespect, but for what? Like, okay?
I'm not really sure what the look at me and the I ain't going to no Charlie Wilson concert with no candy. I'm not really sure what she is implying here, but I'm just here to listen. I'm just here to listen and interpret. That's it.
None at all. Oh, let's get on the phone call first, right? So, when her mama leaves and we all leave this club this night, so you go out to eat. I'm like, I never want to hang with this lady again.
That would be Shamia's mama, Miss Mama Morton. She don't want to hang with her no more. And her tig old Betty's busting up to the ceiling.
Something is wrong, okay? So, I'm staying my distance.
Now, here's the thing. This is Portia and Shamia have gotten into it about their mamas. So you know they ain't gonna ever be friends again. I mean, in my mind, it whether you Portia or whether you Shamia, either one, you talk about my mama, we ain't never being friends no more. So I would have to imagine that any level of friendship with Shamia outside of this is probably over at this point. Okay. You can already, once you done brought up the mamas, and again, that goes for Portia and Shamia, but now it also extends to Kim Michelle. You, we can't be friends no more. That's it. So that friendship is over.
She calls me and say, hi, Kandi knew that I was saying that or whatever. I said, what, Shamia?
Now, when was this phone call? When did this phone call happen? This happened after K Michelle mentioned Candy Coded Click, or did it happen soon after the night that you were crying and Shamia did or did not know? When did this phone call occur? That's the only question I have about that.
Well, I was just saying, I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings because you was upset or you was crying.
So it must have been either after Shamia found out about it or after the episode aired.
I was just saying that y'all would get along so much. Y'all would be the best of friends. Y'all talented. You're pretty. She like you like her. I'm like, what does this have to do? Why are you being messy, Shamia? What are we even talking about? Yes, this is a pretty woman. Yes, she has success. Me and this lady have never had a problem. We're in the music industry. We've never had a problem in over 10 years. So what?
So Shamia, based on this, if what K. Michelle is saying is true. Shamea is trying to build a bridge between Kandi and K. Michelle. So if this is to be believed, then my theory about Shamea is kind of true, which is that I think she, based on this, again, I'm making my own assessments based on what we've seen on the show, right? It seems as though Shamea has this desire to maybe build these real friendships and relationships because during her time as a friend on the show, perhaps she was able to build real friendships and relationships. She was able to still maintain a friendship with Portia and also build a friendship, it sounds like, with Kandi even further, and maybe some of the other ladies as well. I'm not really sure. So maybe she's expecting to be able to do that in this period of time. I don't know. But I'm only basing this on what K. Michelle is saying because, my theory is when someone is speaking, I'm trying to really listen to what they're telling me and understand what they're saying at the same time. Whether or not that's the actual reality is another situation, because there's usually one person's side, another person's side, and the actual truth usually lies somewhere in the middle. So let's continue on.
I'm like, I never want to hang with this lady again. Something is. So what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing telling her and telling them, Rashida and them, telling these girls that I want to hang with them?
Do you think that maybe if this is the way that things went down, Kay, that she was merely trying to build a bridge between y'all? Because when K. Michelle came on the show, she talked about being hurt by these girls from Atlanta from before. She made a really big thing about that, and that was part of the reason why she had been so paranoid about building these new relationships with these ladies. And so perhaps Shamia thinking, and I don't know this to be for certain, but this is one of those situations where it sounds like the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And though the intent might have been good, maybe it wasn't what Kay wanted, or maybe she felt like Shamia was overstepping her bounds. But the way K. Michelle is responding to Shamia is as though Shamia tried to sleep with her man or something like that. Like the level of anger and vitriol, and I get it. I'm sure Kay probably is feeling like, were you trying to manipulate me too? Because that's a big thing for her. Like people trying to influence her one way or another. But I would also say that a paranoid person is also really easy to manipulate anyway.
Out of all of these years, I done got away from that. You didn't come into my life. And you telling these girls I'm asking to hang with them? You out your fucking mind. You are out of your mind. So I'm telling her, I never said that. I never asked you. I never asked you to go to, I don't even talk about these women. Well, I'm sorry. She always sorry. I'm sorry. I just wanted us to be cool. All to be cool. You wanted us to be cool. I don't have no problem with these women. But I don't want to be their friend either.
But the only person that I've heard about this being an issue for is UK. So, I mean, I guess we don't hear Rashida talking about this. We don't hear any of those other women talking about any of this except you. So we wouldn't actually even know about any of this because it never even happened on camera. And again, I feel like Kay has every right to never want to speak to those women again. So maybe that is part of the issue for her, is that maybe she's just like, I will never want to be friends with these women. And how dare you try to make me be friends with them? Maybe that's it.
I got my friends. So what are you doing? And the heck and the trauma and the years of therapy, even being shook up about being in this group, still is a lot to me. It's a lot for me. And you take that to try to hook me up with them without me asking you? Yeah, that's a bit much. That's a bit much. Leave me out of it. Leave me out of it. So by the time I get to the TV show and we being asked questions, that's when I say, I don't want to hear no more about no candy coated nights. Candy coated clicks.
Now, this is also where I feel like K. Michelle goes a little bit into territory that I feel like is cyclical for her. Meaning, this is a story that did not happen on camera. Okay. Similar to the plot that she was told, similar to the Nosh situation. And granted, there are lots of storylines that play out on shows where we didn't see the catalyst for it, but we feel the effects of it. My only issue for Kay is that this seems to be a pattern for her in this particular season, where here it is, yet again, another person who is not on the show is now a factor in a major story, and you are the person that keeps bringing them to the forefront. It's frustrating as a viewer, and I feel like this, again, is where that level of paranoia begins to creep into your experience of being on a reality TV show back in Atlanta specifically, right? Because if you didn't mention Kandi, Kandi would definitely not be mentioning you in this way. Your problem is with Shamea, okay? Keep your problem with Shamea with Shamea. You understand what I'm saying? Like that's the issue that I feel like you're conjuring people, right? You're conjuring them. You're saying their name, you're amplifying them. You're pulling them into your stratosphere with some things that are happening off camera. And then you wonder why they keep when they clap back, you wonder why they're saying anything because you called them. You called them into your life in this way. Okay? You amplify them by saying it on a TV show when it wasn't nothing to be said about them on the TV show.
That's when that happened, and I said that. There wasn't no disrespect towards Kandi. It was just, I'm tired of Shamia talking about this to me.
That's not the way it came across.
Why is she making it such a big issue? Me and these girls don't have a problem. And the heck and the trauma. Shamia, why do you want this problem so bad?
It does sound like you have a problem with them. And it's okay to say. It's okay to say that. Saying you don't have a problem with them when you actually just said that you do, that they've caused you trauma and heartache, that is the part that is actually really, really confusing. Say it, stand on it. You do have a problem with them, and it's okay. Say that, because then there's no confusion. I have a problem with these group of people. These are the mean girls of Atlanta, whomever they may be. Name them clearly. Don't say a name that you don't mean. And then when you do say mean girls of Atlanta, call out the names that you mean or clarify. Because if you say candy coated in in your interview, then you say the mean girls of Atlanta when she's speaking about Kandi and some of those other ladies, then you simply are aligning your thoughts for the audience. So why would Francesca not then go back and say that you said that? Because you did say the mean girls. And because you had already said Kandi's name, you had already conjured her into this situation. Now, granted, that may have been Shamea that initiated. All you had to do was say no. No, Shamea, I'm not cool with that. I know I see what you're trying to do, but it's not going to work for me. That's really all this boils down to. Shamea, listen, I appreciate what you're doing. I think you got good intentions here, but I'm gonna have to just stop you right there. That's the wrong road for me, and keep it pushing. But this is also what I didn't like about the situation with even with Portia in the beginning of the season when she said, "Do you have a miscarriage?" Now, I don't know what their situation had been prior to that. And granted, could it have been an inappropriate thing to say? Perhaps. But at the end of the day, even when you had that issue, you ain't handle it directly with the source. You went out and called her a bimbo.
Now, yesterday, I watched someone tell another woman, this lady is a journalist, supposed to be, which her job, I could have had that job. This lady's a journalist, so she say. I'm gonna call her cheap labor writer.
I think that it's kind of low-hanging fruit to me when a celebrity, right, or a reality TV personality tries to downplay a person who is doing their job, whether it be as a blogger or a media outlet, a radio host. Not everybody is attempting to be a journalist. Okay. I don't know what Francesca considers herself as, but I just feel like that insult is kind of played out, and I just really wish that it would stop. Like, I'm somebody who went to school for journalism, mass communication. So, for me, it's all irrelevant at this point. Anybody can get on this internet and ask questions, and they have every right to do so. People go to these media outlets, and oftentimes they will go to bloggers, podcast hosts, more often than not, because they know, and entertainment agencies also know, that sending their stars to those podcasts now gets them more virality than actually going to traditional media outlets.
And she asks another young woman. Well, she tells her, K. Michelle said, girl, if you don't get somewhere and finish your breakfast and read a book.
This is the K. Michelle I like. It's so random. These are the types of insults that I want to hear, right? I mean, because it's not really a dig. It's more, it's a dig, but it's like, girl, what?
K. Michelle said. What K. Michelle say? What she said? K. Michelle say, that you're a mean girl. Now, when did I say that, bitch? When?
You actually said it during the reunion. Whether or not you meant Kandi, the inference is there. And the inference is there because you mentioned, don't nobody want to hear about the Kandi coded click in your interview a few episodes prior. And so as Shamia is speaking about Kandi and whomever else is in the friend group, and you say the Mean Girls of Atlanta, what you don't do is you don't say except for Kandi. You don't say any of that. You just say the Mean Girls of Atlanta. You never exclude Kandi from the conversation. You actually brought her into the conversation, a conversation that we knew nothing about initially. And now it is as though you want to fall back from that conversation. And I don't understand that. Either clarify in the beginning, leave it on the playground. Who are you speaking about when you say the Mean Girls of Atlanta? And then be specific about it then. I don't mean Kandi. She's not included in that. That's how you do it.
When did I say that? Just when did I say that? Go read. Shamia, why do you want this problem so bad? Go read something.
I like to read.
Sick of it. Sick of it. Sick of it. So, the other person responds back. Oh, we've seen her. And and she's a mean girl. First place, I'm about to be stunning you.
Ain't nobody stunting you.
Think you're a great writer? Great artist. You do shows together, you and Scapegoat. I go and vice versa. And we sing those songs. Really don't have a problem with you. Really even respect your business. But you were so quick. Soon as she told you, Kay said this about you. Didn't even give me the benefit of the doubt. Oh, read.
But wasn't you so quick to say her name on the show? I mean, just as quick as you were. I don't feel like, and that's the crazy thing about it. I don't feel like Kandi was that quick to react to you. I feel like this had been weeks later, and you've said the Mean Girls again after Shamia has said her name. You don't exclude her from that conversation. So anybody within reason is going to think that you might be also talking about her because you don't bother to clarify, right? So one could also argue just as quick as you were to say her name, she's as quick to say yours. And actually, she didn't say it. She was brought up. She was asked that question. At this point, and the thing about it that Kandi said to me wasn't even all that bad. She says, if I'm a mean girl, then she's a mean girl too. We've seen it play out on camera. Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
You wanted to say something about me crazy. Because you said it too quick.
She probably did, because at this point in time, you've already conjured her.
But that's okay. I still respect you. I'm still a woman.
So here's my full assessment. I like this game. This K Michelle is, I think, the woman I was more expecting than the one that appeared on Real Housewives of Atlanta. The one that appeared on Real Housewives of Atlanta, in my opinion, seemed to be a muted version of herself. And I'm not sure why she did that. Actually, we do know why now. But it would have been better suited if she had just shown up as her, because I think that's the real her. I don't think you need to try to get on here and impress no country people. I don't think you need to get on here and try to impress no networks, no agencies, no nothing. Just be you. If you're going to do reality, girl, you got to be you. Don't come over here trying to be the person that you think that these people over here are going to accept, because that's the album you got coming out. It's very likely that some of those people in Nashville may never accept you. And that is absolutely okay. You go and make the music you want to make, okay? And then next, in your second season of this show, please leave your issues on the playground. You are much more effective when you are dealing with things straight up and in your face manner. And I hope you continue that. All right. All of this, things that happen off camera, behind the scenes, I'm going to tell you, like I told Shamia, as much as you want to develop a sisterhood with these ladies, I need you to think twice. Okay? Think twice, because this is a TV show. Anything you say can and will be used against you. The same way that it's happening with Shamia is the same way it can happen to you. Okay? Mark my words. I have seen this show before, and there are certain things that I've said that have definitely come to pass because we know the cycles. So, gird your loins and get ready. Because just as easily as this has happened to someone else, all of this can just as easily happen to you. And again, it's only because we know how these shows go. So, okay, Michelle, I'm going to tell you this. These are your coworkers. Treat them as such. Keep one eye open and have a good time. When it's time to check somebody, you check them right then and there. You ain't got to run to Twitter, X, Blue Sky, or Microsoft Word. Handle it in the scene and keep it pushing. You will save yourself a lot of drama, stress, and trauma. And don't give nobody else who is not on this show no more energy and no life. And you won't have to explain yourself like this. That's all. With that being said, make sure you guys keep it locked to the channel. I got some news coming up for y'all, a fun little September challenge. So be on the lookout for that. And with that being said, I'll keep in touch. I'll let y'all know what's going on. All right. Bye.